So Vic Fangio admitted that Nakobe Dean won't be giving up his starting reps anytime soon, but it's the DC's comments on both Cooper DeJean and Bryce Huff that have me more excited. Plus, Kellen Moore defends Jalen Hurts despite his league-worst quarterback grade, and why Johnny Wilson's stock gets about to explode. I'm Thomas Mott. This is The Thomas Mott Show. I can't remember an Eagles coordinator being as open and brutally honest as Vic Fangio has been since officially signing on to be the Birds DC earlier this year. Like, this guy tells you exactly how he feels, who's good, who's bad, who's starting, who's not, and never sugarcoats anything. For instance, yesterday, simple question. If Devin White is healthy, Vic, will he play despite Nakobe's strong Week 1 performance?
No, Nakobe's the starter. Yeah, obviously we've talked to him about it, and he's still a good player. He tweaked his ankle last week. He's still part of it and will be part of it.
I said, I just got to tell him the truth.
Or how about this? Hey, Coach, how did Quinyon Mitchell look versus the Packers? And let's say if Isaiah Rodgers comes back, will you move Quinyon back to the inside?
Good. I thought he played good. You know, they caught some balls on him in front of him. Made a great play on the deep ball they threw early in the game on him. I thought he played well. Well, because with Isaiah out, our next, best combination, because they have the good outside receivers, through deep to Watson a good bit. We wanted Quinyon out there.
I think maybe all the Dolphin players complaining during the offseason that Fangio was not a great coach and he was really mean and what, they just couldn't handle his brutal honesty. Either way, so far, I think Vic Fangio is a breath of fresh air, and apparently I'm not the only one.
I remember we were in the playoffs, and we're getting ready to play the New York Giants in the first round, or I guess we had already had the bye.
Put another way, you're getting ready to kick the Giants' ass.
Exactly.
Okay, I just want to be clear.
And Vic comes up to me, and I'm up there talking to Stout, and he says, "You nervous?" And I'm like, the gall of this. Oh, sorry, beep that. Sorry, so sorry. I'm like, and it pissed me off. Like, I'm like, this guy's like questioning whether I'm going to be fired up to play, and but I just love that like unfilteredness. Like, it's not like he's gonna try and fluff me up. He's like, he knew I was going up against Dexter Lawrence, who's a great player in this league,
sure,
and like was ready to come after me. And they were fired up. They just come off a huge win against Minnesota, and they had tore their offensive line to pieces.
Wow.
And I met, like, he's just a guy that I think just a tremendous personality in that old school like feel that I think is important to have in a building.
I like that.
I really do.
Now, circling back to the linebacker position, we did hear from Devin White today for the very first time at his locker pre-practice since the whole ankle injury, not flying to Brazil, and he handled it well, but you can tell he's surprised and a little bit confused as to what his future is in Philadelphia.
It was hard, but at the end of the day, it's football. Those guys make those decisions, and you got to live with them. Be prepared, when your number calls, just to go out there and handle your business.
They said that you have a role on this team moving forward. Nick said they're going to need you. Did they describe to you what that role was?
You had to get it from him.
What happened to your ankle? Like, when did that happen?
Just tweak, man. A lot of information. Some been working through. With the training staff, they've been doing a good job of, trying to get me well. You know what I'm saying, just to make sure I can do everything I need to do.
Now, staying on the injury front, we learned from Isaiah Rodgers today that he needed surgery on his right hand after breaking a bone in the last practice of training camp. If he's talking about, according to Jeff McClain here, August 21st workout, it's been a little bit over 3 weeks, and said he hopes to be ready to play Monday versus the Falcons. Now, I promised the winner of the Brian Westbrook jersey officially being announced today, and, well, the winner of this bad boy, since we hit 60,000 subs, is the subscriber, wait for it, Woof of the T9844. See it down below me in the comment section. Woof! If you want to claim it, send me an email, link down below in the description box. Let me know it's you, prove it's you. If not, I'll redraw, but I think I'm going to get an email for this one. And also, it's kind of fitting to give away a Westbrook jersey on Falcons week, as number 36 best career game maybe ever came at home versus the Atlanta Falcons back in 2008. You love the vintage footage here, right? As B. West went for 167 on the ground, 7.5 yards per rush, and 2 touchdowns. Gosh, he was an absolute monster. Now I know with one winner, that means a lot of losers, so let's do another little quick giveaway here. Not as cool as a B West jersey, but my brand new Thomas Mott Show shirt. If you like it and you want to win it, go down below in the comment section, like, subscribe, and just comment T-Mott. I'm curious if anyone wants to win this thing. one commenter, one subscriber. You guys know the drill, will be selected on a future show. Again, give me your comment right now. Now, I think it's really important after just one NFL game to not jump to some crazy conclusions, because there are many factors that go into the Eagles' win against the Green Bay Packers, like traveling to Brazil, playing on the horrible field, and obviously the opponent you were facing. Like, for instance, the pass rush has been questioned all week long. It was really lackluster, which Fangio did mention could have been influenced by the terrible field conditions. But we also are forgetting the Packers' offense was third best in pressure win rate allowed in 2023. Like, they're built 100% to protect Jordan Love. Something that, say, the Falcons apparently had a tough time doing last Sunday when TJ Watt and company were feasting on the Dirty Birds' pass protection and absolutely ruining Kirk Cousins' debut. Although, it is worth noting, when talking about Kirk Cousins, according to Mina Kimes on our podcast yesterday, Cousins might not be 100% healthy, especially going into Monday night's matchup. Listen to this.
I mean, the entire premise of him going to Atlanta was he's this great under center play action quarterback. He can't run under center play action right now. So the whole thing falls apart. It's super siloed. The run game suffers for it. Dominique, watching him, why did they think this would work? Not signing him, but week one. And also, how come none of us heard anything about this entire offseason?
That's the thing that blew my mind. He didn't tear his Achilles after he signed the deal. How do you just assume? I understand keeping this all under wraps, and it's clear that they knew it. They don't have our under center play action quarterback not under center during play action unless he can't do it. So it's really concerning all the way throughout, and it doesn't look like that's something that's going to get better from week to week. Maybe in a year, sometimes it takes a while.
So if that's true, the Birds are playing essentially a bad offensive line and a quarterback who can't move. He's basically a statue back there. On Monday night, Nick Foles comes back. I think the pass rush is going to feast. Let me know what you guys think right now. Still, though, despite the Packers' offensive line being good and the Falcons' offensive line being bad, the questions around Bryce Huff, especially, have been really, really crazy the past couple of days. And I think Fangio, to his credit, defended Huff pretty well in this coming clip, but he also said he's got to get better to earn more reps.
He's improving. Obviously, we all had a play or two. I had a call or two that could have been better, but he's improving in that area. I think most of our guys, if you look at it, we've had 5 guys up and they all played about similar rep counts. And we're just rolling those guys.
Is that the way you envision that rotation going throughout the season, or is that more attributed to the beginning of the year?
Not sure. It's both. Could be both.
What's Bryce need to do to play more?
Just separate himself from the other guys.
Which in turn means Nolan Smith, who did play more reps and I thought was more impressive in the Green Bay game than Huff, is probably going to see more and more playing time if, and again big if Bryce Huff doesn't start picking things up, which honestly is kind of exciting for someone like the underwhelming UGA edge rusher who has a lot of potential, but the narrative the past couple of, months going back to last year has been he just hasn't lived up to his first round grade. Still though, I think a combination of both Nolan Smith, Bryce Huff, Josh Sweat, and of course BG is what's going to make the Eagles the best possible pass rush unit going forward in 2024. I'm hoping both of these guys can figure things out, but so far, no one's been a little bit more impressive. Although for those Eagle fans who kind of want a Hassan Reddick reunion since he's been holding out with the Jets, well, a new report from Jeremy Fowler said from our Week 2 Buzz file, multiple league execs believe the Jets will eventually need to explore flipping Hassan Reddick via trade as the contract impasses have no end in sight. Quote, not sure they have a choice. Although, not to ruin your Thursday, D-Gun tweeted a couple of hours ago, the Eagles at this time have no interest in bringing back Hassan Reddick. Can things change? Maybe, but I'd be very surprised if they were to bring back number 7. Now, when talking about young, impressive players in Friday's win, we got to mention Johnny Wilson, who did play. You might not have noticed him because he didn't catch some sort of, significant pass or have a lot of big-time targets, but overall, he was a lot better than I realized. Wilson logged double-digit snaps, most in run-blocking situations, but was targeted once, and according to his offensive coordinator, did an awesome job that will warrant even more snaps going forward.
Yeah, Johnny did an awesome job, fired up. There's a bunch of highlight blocks in there, and so, he took advantage of his 10 or so snaps. He's got a role for us. Obviously, it'll evolve as we go week in and week out from a run game perspective. For the pass game, he'll come alive as we go, and we're really, really excited about him.
Likewise, Cooper DeJean played a handful of, again, very limited snaps on Friday, but he was pretty darn good, and I think it's safe to say that Fangio is just easing him along right now with the intention of DeJean taking on a much bigger role as quickly as possible.
Yeah, we just got to keep practicing him a bunch, get him comfortable. He basically missed all of training camp except the Minnesota week. And, so he's behind, but we're trying to catch him up.
Now, in some lighter news, the Eagles brought back safety Caden Stearns to the practice squad yesterday after releasing him a couple of days ago, and then also released Jack Stoll, who they signed a couple of days ago. Not sure why Howie likes to sign somebody to the practice squad and then cut him and then bring somebody back who we previously cut. It's like a revolving door out there in the Eagles practice squad. It's a new group every single week, but either way, that's what happened. Now, we also got the official speed check on A.J. Brown's first game since really getting injured versus the Giants and then not playing in the wild card debacle versus the Tampa Bay Bucks, and A.J. Brown looks pretty darn great, clocking in at a whopping 21.05 miles per hour against the Green Bay Packers. Get this, his top speed since his rookie season. Gotta like that. We also got some fun PFF grades, like the Eagles' offensive line, grading out as the second best performing line in the entire league after week 1, but then some bad PFF grades we don't like, aka Jalen Hurts being the lowest graded quarterback from week 1 with a 29.8 overall grade, which, listen, I know he threw some interceptions and wasn't perfect, but if you think Hurts was worse than Deshaun Watson or Kirk Cousins, or how about Caleb Williams and Will Levis, goodness gracious, I just can't agree with the PFF grade right here. And neither can Hurts' offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, who admitted, yes, listen, turnovers, they're bad, but they're also fixable, and not all Jalen Hurts' fault, and overall, QB1 right here looks pretty darn good in Friday night's win.
Yeah, sometimes with those, we call a particular play that has some opportunity to earn the first down, and at the same time, there is some situations where, hey, any completion's good, and we'll make the decision as far as fourth down, whether it's a kicking opportunity or a go-for-it opportunity. And so those situations, and sometimes those we play out differently, and so just communicating through how we want to handle those circumstances, whether it be the backed up or the red zone one, I think we all get to grow from our communication, and so I think they're good growth opportunities for us.
Throughout camp, of course, like not throwing an interception for almost the entirety of it, and then you had a few questionable decisions in the game. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, I think sometimes just the first game, and we had two third and extra long opportunities where you practice some of those during training camp, and I think we got a little aggressive. Myself play calling also ultimately just the throw, but. Not overly concerned. To me, they're outliers in many cases. I think as we all have seen Jalen in those circumstances, so we feel optimistic we'll be just fine moving forward, and we'll be able to adjust.
All Hurts needs is a very clean game versus the Falcons, and I think the media will get off his back, not permanently, but hopefully temporarily, because very few quarterbacks overall look good in week 1. But this new stigma around Hurts that he's, a turnover machine and he's digressed or regressed since 2022, it's all easy fodder for the legacy media to go ahead and just light on fire and get views about. But overall, as I said during my recap video, take away a couple of bad throws, which every quarterback seemingly had in week 1. A lot of them had rust, and Hurts was probably one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the entire league when it mattered in that win against, again, a really good team in the Green Bay Packers. And I know we're in Philadelphia, and so, the media stokes a lot of stuff, and Eagle fans are obviously very hyped because it's, great roster, Super Bowl caliber season, and so if someone like Jalen Hurts or, let's say, Bryce Huff underperforms, we want to immediately, zero in on that and be like, oh my gosh, this guy's going to stink. But again, I want to make sure we're all calm enough to realize week 1, you beat a really good team in the Packers, you had way more ups than downs, and you have a chance to go into Monday Night Football, put all of the media, craziness behind you with a great Jalen Hurts offensive play, really good job by the defense and Bryce Huff, roll the Atlanta Falcons, go 2-0, and I think start to get a little bit more respect from some of the doubters that seem to linger, at least so far after week 1. Now, I have plenty more stuff happening the next couple of days and weeks, including a morning hit on Jacob Media. I think it's tomorrow morning. I think it's either 9:20 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. Either way, it's on their 365 Birds morning show. John McMullen, go ahead and check that one out. It's going to be fun to be live and kind of, debate, talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to ask John if he thinks Saquon still looks like Miles Sanders or was maybe a little better than what Miles Sanders was in Philadelphia. It's going to be a blast. Go ahead and check that one out. Hit that subscribe button. I'm Thomas Mott on a Friday. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.